the Porsche IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama, a two-class challenge series for emerging talent and enthusiast racers. Platinum, the fastest class with the newest Porsche 911 Carrera GT3 Cup race cars. Gold, for 911s from 2009 model year and older. And within those two classes, a Masters Championship battle ensues. That's for drivers aged 45 and older. Tyres are from Yokohama, race cars are from Porsche. Setup is critical, but talent and racecraft are how you win. Every second counts. No mistake goes unpunished. Drivers aren't pros, but this isn't amateur hour. All of Porsche's factory races started in a series just like this. It's the largest single-make series on the planet. This is the Porsche IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge presented by Yokohama. Rounds 15 and 16 of the Porsche IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge presented by Yokohama from Road Atlanta, home of the final race of the American Le Mans Series for the year, but also forever, as we move to a new era of sports car racing here in America with the Tudor United Sports Car Championship. For this weekend, Petit Le Mans, the last major endurance race of the year, it's 10 hours around this beautiful circuit in the Georgia backcountry hills. In the race, a few recognised talents from this series. Brett Sandberg and Madison Snow will be competing with Flying Lizard Motorsports in GTC, as will Angel Benitez Jr. with MOMO NGT. As a development series, this is exactly what we'd expect to see, rising stars making their way from a sprint race format through into endurance racing. Now, though the cars are the same, the setup is different, and the driving styles of the driver has to be adapted because it's not just about one person, you're part of a team here. Although there's an end of season, almost an end of term feeling here at Road Atlanta, unfortunately we have to remember the harsher side of our sport. MOMO NGT driving mentor Sean Edwards, a 26-year-old up-and-coming English Porsche driver, was recently tragically killed whilst mentoring another young driver in Queensland, Australia. Sean is currently leading the Porsche Super Cup back in Europe, and his team, indeed all of the grid, will race here in his memory and in his honour. The season has yet to be completely decided in the GT3 Cup. So far we know our Platinum and Gold champions, Madison Snow and Michael Levitas. But we've yet to sort out our Platinum Masters Championship, still a battle between Casey Coolman with Wright Motorsports and Craig Jerson with MOMO NGT. Casey's got the upper hand with just one additional point.
I'm approaching this weekend one session at a time. I have one rung on the ladder to climb each time. I'm not trying to get ahead of myself in terms of thinking what's at stake. I need, at a minimum, I need to split points with Craig to win the championship. And depending on how conditions change, I'll play my cards the way I need to.
Then there's the battle for the Teams Championship in Platinum. Effort Racing and Wright Motorsports are still in the hunt.
The field coming to the green for the 15th round of the IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama, here in support of the American Le Mans Series Petit Le Mans weekend. Your champion, Madison Snow, he has already clinched it and he leads away from the inside of the front row. Another pole position on his shoulders. Sloan Uri trying to ramp the outside. That might be the better line, more grip on that race line. The wet line, he's through. Sloan Uri into the lead. Madison Snow slots into second, Jeremy.
Tremendous start by Sloan Uri there. A wonderful effort around the outsider in that Effort Racing car. And it is car number 20 that leads from car number 62. So Casey Coleman gets it all wrong at the top of the hill.
And he's over he kept it out. Oh, he just barely kept it off of the wall. He came in as the leader in the Masters class in the Platinum category by but 2 points over Craig Dewerson. He had a good qualifying run, but boy, now he has his work cut out.
Yeah, he and Craig Dewerson were pretty much side by side going in there. I don't know what happened to Dewerson. I'm presuming he was able to continue there. But boy, that was a dicey moment for Casey Coolman. He spun it around coming out of of turn 4 there, but just about kept it off the wall and was able to continue, albeit a long way back down the field.
Yeah, and of course now he's mired in what's going to be an immense amount of spray. Visibility an issue in these conditions. Sloan Uri, that was a great move by him on a number of different levels, one of them visibility related. He has clear track, and as long as he doesn't catch any of the back markers as they come around through the field, he's going to have that great visibility. So now Madison Snow, and again, he's already champ, so there's really no reason for him to hold back. He's got the championship clinch. This young man just wants to go for more wins on a season where he has already brought home 6 wins, 12 times on the podium for this young guy. And I don't know how many poles this year. I mean, he's just been a qualifying machine, Jeremy.
He has 11 poles. This is the 11th pole in 15 starts for the season. So it's been a fantastic season for the youngster from Utah. Well, they're both from Utah, these two young guys at the front of the field, actually. Sloan Uri, he's 20 years of age from the Salt Lake City area, and Madison Snow just 17.
Yeah, unbelievable what he's done this year. Craig Dewerson right now sits in the 4th spot, and we have the 0-5 off, and that is over. Well, I'm trying to. That looks like he just did the old hook across coming out of 12, and you get it wrong, and you just come shooting across the track into the pit wall, and that is going to bring out immediately the double yellows here. So Miguel Benitez, one of our Masters category drivers in the gold class, is in early trouble here. Able to continue, but I think he's, if not damage to the suspension and alignment, he's just pulling off. He knows he's got problems. See if we can see. Oh, he just ran wide, Jeremy.
Oh, yeah, that's awfully tricky. You come off that last corner and you get wide on the grass. So he spins back across the road to the car, does several revolutions there and catches the front end pretty heavily on that inside wall. So Miguel Benitez, he'd won the Masters class in the Gold Cup category the last 2 races at Circuit of the Americas. But it's not going to be 3 in a row for Miguel.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. 6th overall in the Gold Cup points, but his day done early. And yeah, he got that right front corner pretty solidly once he got into that wall. And you can see the frustration. He gets out of the car, looks at the damage, and is going to be pretty frustrated at this point. So early in the going, we are under a full course caution. Still over 41 minutes of racing yet to go. Again, timed event here for the 15th round of the championship. So the clock continues to run. Another guy we should probably talk about, Brett Sandberg, qualified 10th. He drives for True Speed, a number of podiums this year. And he actually had his best qualifying time taken away per the rule because he caused a red flag during the qualifying session. So his best time was taken away. So he's back in 10th. I think he had actually turned a time that would have put him a lot closer to the top 5.
And Brett Sandberg in that car number 46, he's one of a handful of drivers in this field who will be racing in the GTC category this weekend.
Oh! Big off right there as we go back to green, and a big slide down the wall. That is Sloan Uri, who had, from the lead, has had it all go wrong, perhaps has thrown it away, Jeremy.
Yeah, and
oh boy.
The green was out, and he came through there, through turn 12, obviously way too quickly. The car got away from him, and he goes spinning off the wall, and doesn't look like there was any serious damage. I don't think he hit the wall as hard as Benitez did a little while ago, but it's certainly one, his challenge for this race has very much ended. It is Madison Snow who leads, but Colin Thompson, they're really putting on the pressure as they come through turn 5.
Yeah, watching Madison, that car darting around a little bit. Thompson's car looked a lot more planted, and there's the number 20 of Uri. You can see it took the front splitter off of the car, and he hit hard enough that it popped the windshield wiper straight forward. Boy, in the latter half of that lap, is Uri now able to get going, just dragging that splitter with him. You can see Madison Snow now is drawn away just a little bit from Colin Thompson. Let's go back to the replay as the splitter comes off. Here comes Uri coming around, picking up the green, gets that curb, and that left rear just lights up, Jeremy.
Yeah, I think he was trying to get a jump there at the green flag. He came down the hill, carried a lot of speed into turn 12. I think there, just as he got towards turn 12, he realized, uh-oh, I got a bit too much speed on here. He tried to back it off a little bit. At that stage, he ran up onto the exit curbing, tried to get on the gas because he saw the green flag was out, so tried to get on the throttle, but you know, with one rear tire on that exit curbing over there is a lot different grip coefficient than the asphalt on the racetrack, and it just swapped top 10s. Around goes Sloan Uri, and through into the lead goes Madison Snow.
Down the hill we go. Green flag comes out, and we are back to racing here at Road America. Everybody being wary of that curb, and everybody moving right there. 27, Dewerson moving over. That's just a visibility thing. Wants to get over, get an idea of what's coming up at him, and now back into line and up the hill.
Oh, it is seriously wet out there. You can see the huge rooster tails. They're coming up the hill over the crest in turn 2, and now start going downhill again through the S's. It is Madison Snow leads. Colin Thompson right there in second place, and Craig Dewerson in third.
And here's that tricky entry, one of the iconic parts of the Road Atlanta circuit, down through the S's, turn 4, down to the bottom. Right there's that little bit of a puddle down there, and then just a dip of the brake, Jeremy, maybe down a gear up into turn 5, and then the second longest straight on the track. People don't often think about it, but this run from 5 to 6 longer than 12 to 1, and it's a key part of this track and a good lap.
Yeah, it is, and undulating there. You're going downhill a little bit and uphill again into turn 6 and 7, and yeah, it is really, it's very, very tricky out there right now. It's the conditions have been kind of changing. It's the rain started coming down again since the start of the race, so it makes it even more difficult for these drivers. And you wonder if anybody thinking, well, the rain's going to let up a little bit, went with a sort of an intermediate cut on those Yokohama tires, and they could be being caught out here big time right now. Of course, the Yokohama engineers probably the pit lane pretty closely and say, no, you don't want to be doing that. No, they're all the wet tires for sure out there right now. It's Madison Snow, Madison Snow who leads. Very tidy line there through turns 10 and 10A through that chicane, over the crest of the hill in turn 11, downhill again into turn 12. Across the line goes Madison Snow. Turns a 2 minutes 35. Sorry, 1 minute 40.8 for Madison Snow. He's pulled out about a second and a half over Colin Thompson, and now Craig Dewerson has closed in third place. Craig Dewerson, the Masters contender, he's in good shape now. He's leading the Masters class, third place overall, and as you were saying earlier on, Greg Creamer, Craig Dewerson won that race at Road America in very similar conditions.
Yeah, it was just pouring, and he was magic that day. Nobody could touch him, and he is starting to pressure Colin Thompson, and Colin in the all orange car, and then Dewerson behind him in the orange car with a little bit of a silver spot that says NGT right on the nose as they come down through turn 5 and now make that run up into turn 6. Turn 6, bit of banking to it, and in these conditions, more often than not, you're going to run the high line around there because the water tends to run down. It's a little bit drier up high, and the smart drivers, that's where they're going to be looking forward here. There's Keating, but he's under attack. Big attempt down the inside by the 46. Don't know if he was able to get it done.
Yes, Brett Sandberg coming up. He had some, we talked about a little while ago, had some problems yesterday and in qualifying this morning, but he's now trying to work his way forward again, and he's inside the top 10 and trying to get past the gold class car of Ben Keating in 7th place.
Casey Coleman, you just saw a shot, as we were talking about, came in here leading in the Platinum Cup Masters category, has worked his way back up into the top 15 after that early off 13th, but as you pointed out, losing a lot of points and ground right now to Craig Dewerson.
Yeah, he's still going to be, I think he's going to be 3rd or 4th though in the Masters class cars if he can continue now where he is. Phil Fogg Jr. running 2nd of the Masters in car number 44 in 6th place overall. And then Michael Levitas, he is a Masters class car, and Wayne Ducote there, number 35 and 68. And then right behind them now is number 15 of Casey Coolman.
Coolman just got Ducote, so exactly what you're talking about. Picks up another spot and stems the flow of point loss at this point, and that's exactly what he wants to do.
That's right, and he's already, I think, up into 3rd place in the Masters points for this race is Casey Coolman, coming up back nicely from that spin on the opening lap. And if he can stay there in 3rd place, then he will minimize the points loss to Craig Dewerson. We reckon there were just 2 points coming into them on corrected scores after they figured out who was actually eligible for the Masters Championship and who wasn't. And there are 2-point margins between 1st and 2nd and 2nd and 3rd. So if they stay as they are, that will be enough to move Craig Dewerson into the lead of the Masters Championship points with just tomorrow's race to come.
Boy, and Coleman is trying to figure out any way he can to get around that white number 45 of Charlie Putman and move up into the top 10 and put him down one spot. He is working very, very furiously at it at this point. He may have got the run right there out of turn 5. Boy, did he nail it just about right. Now, can he get down the inside? Again, we talked about that outside line can have a little bit more grip, but Coleman able to come through, sort of do the slide pass, come right up in front of Putman, gets through. He's in the top 10.
Yeah, good job there. Nice pass. Good driving by both of these two. They've both been around a long time. Charlie Putman's driven an awful lot of cars over an awful lot of years, and this is his first start in the GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama, but doing a very fine job here in an additional car added by the Autosport, the True Speed Autosport team this week.
Yeah, he's had a lot of laps around this track, but most of them have been a few years ago in the Pirelli World Challenge Championship. So here he's getting a taste of the Yokohama tire and apparently liking it and really putting a great run on here. Congratulations to him. And he'll be on it again, not only in tomorrow's race, but I think he's also running with Dempsey Racing in the American Le Mans Series Petit Le Mans finale.
Indeed, Charlie Putman is one of several drivers in this race. Oh dear.
Well, that's the 47 of John Baker. I can't quite, it's the other Baker.
David Baker.
Look, David Baker and John Baker, both off in the gravel. What are the odds?
Yeah, they were 14th and 15th positions last time around, these two. And yeah, they've buried those cars up to their axles in the gravel trap down there with just about halfway through this race. 22 minutes gone, 22 minutes to go. But I'm sure this is going to bring out our third full course caution.
We are green! It flies once again with 16.5 minutes remaining. Madison Snow leads. Thompson moves over, looking for a clean line, looking for a line to dive by. No, Madison has just enough steam built up that he's able to hang on, Jeremy.
Yes, indeed. Again, a perfect restart there for Madison Snow. Craig Durson in third place, did pretty sensible there. He doesn't want to get caught up in anything that might happen amongst these two guys ahead of him. If he could pick up a win, that would be great. But certainly for Craig Durson, he's already won one race overall this season, so he's already checked off that that mark off the box. He wants to make sure now his focus is on winning the Masters Championship. And if he can stay where he is right now, he is in position to leapfrog ahead of Casey Coolman and take over the lead in the points once again going into the final race tomorrow.
But Casey Coleman is absolutely determined to do whatever he can, and he has been juking and jiving here on this opening lap, looking for any opportunity. Look at this, way down to the inside, trying to see what he can do. He was too far back to try the move. I think he was just looking, that was a visibility issue, getting out of that spray, trying to figure out how can I make the move here and make it stick and get a run out of 7. That's huge here. A fast lap around Road Atlanta. There's lots of challenging, brutally intense corners, but the most important one is certainly turn 7 to get out of there with a good head of steam down this straight. And it looks like the guys in front of Casey actually got a little bit better launch that time, being Sandberg, Keating, and Patrick Otto Madsen.
Yeah, coming down the hill here into turn 10 and 10A, and it's all nose to tail. People looking to the inside. No moves down there though, and it is now Coolman who's right up onto the tail of Patrick Otto Madsen. Otto Madsen in car number 99. He had the best weekend of the season last time out at Circuit of the Americas. He qualified in the top 10. He ran in the top 10 in both races, and he's doing the same again here at Road Atlanta.
Yeah, running for ANSA Motorsports, and Coolman right behind him. Coolman made up a ton of ground on Madsen under braking, and now Craig Durson starting to up the pressure on young Colin Thompson. Durson, yeah, maybe he's sensing I'm a little bit quicker at this stage. If I can get by, maybe I could go up and have some fun here, because he sure is starting now to heap the pressure on Thompson.
Yeah, it looks much quicker at this stage in the race, Craig Durson, than Colin Thompson, but it is Thompson holds that position in second place. Madison Snow, he's escaping out at the front. He's just turned the best lap of the race, a 139.2, by a whole second. That was quicker than Colin Thompson in second place.
You know, the guy who's been very quietly effective here is Michael Mills, who is up into the 4th spot, doing a superb job in his effort racing program. And now Brett Sandberg has come up and claimed that 5th spot in the True Speed Autosport Porsche. So Sandberg has really taken advantage of that caution, gotten around Phil Fogg Jr. and moved up into 5th.
That's right, we've got 5 different teams represented in the top 5 the most at this stage in the race, with 13 minutes remaining. The Snow Racing Wright Motorsports entry out in front, the Thompson Racing car in second place, NGT Motorsports with Craig Jewison in third, Effort Racing and Michael Mills in fourth place in car number 41, and then Brett Sandberg in the best of the True Speed Autosport entries.
Lloyd Dewison exploring some different lines, coming out from under the bridge down into turn 12, trying to figure out a way. He clearly seems to have a little bit more pace. Uh-oh, and we've got problems now. That's the number 45, Charlie Putman, and the number 24 have gotten together, Mark Lalano. I think we may have a replay of what happened here, or at least the tail end of it. Oh, boy. Yeah. Oh, man. Putman.
He'd already spun, and his car was pretty much to a halt, and then Mark Yano comes along behind, and unfortunately he loops it around as well and makes contact with the stationary car of Charlie Putman, actually punts Charlie's car into the gravel trap. He wasn't in the gravel before that. But, damage to both of those cars. Nothing too extensive, one would hope.
And we are now at 11 minutes remaining, and we'll see how quick we can get this cleaned up. Because I don't know about you, I would sure like to see what Craig Dewison can do here in these last few minutes. He's looking pretty racy. And here we go. Madison out from under the bridge at 11, down through 12. Green flag is out. We are back to racing. 6 minutes to go. Once again, Colin Thompson right there moves over, getting out of the spray, wondering, will Madison have that car skate just a little bit? Can I dive through? And Madison absolutely perfect thus far through turn 1 and up the hill.
Same order, the top 5 as they go up the hill over the crest in turn 2. The right-hander at turn 3. There's Madison Snow from Colin Thompson. Craig Jewison there in third place. Michael Mills in fourth. And Brett Sandberg in fifth. Phil Fogg Jr. in sixth, followed by the best of the Gold Club cars is Ben Keating in car number 36.
And then Casey Coleman, who we're keeping an eye on, currently third in the Masters class in this race, came in second, or leading the Masters class in the points, and now trying to find his way around Phil Fogg and hoping that Dewison maybe makes some sort of mistake, as Dewison right there, that third car just going out of your frame, sitting in third overall right now, and just in front of that blue Effort Racing entry of Mike Mills, who's feeling the heat from Brett Sandberg in that True Speed car.
Yeah, it's very closely matched here. The top, well, 4 or 5 at least. 4 or 5 of the top 4 or 5 are. Madison Snow perhaps is very definitely the quickest man on the day. His best lap set just before that last full course caution period was 1:39.2. He's the only driver to get below 1:40 in these very difficult conditions.
Yeah, and again, some of that I think is visibility. He is out front. He's been able to maintain that ever since Sloan Urie had his off early in the going, and he has a great visibility, which is a huge factor when you see that spray just hanging in the air. There down the hill comes Mills, Sandberg, the 5 of them now drawing away from Phil Fogg. So the question is, when Phil comes by, let's see if we're going to watch for it. Ooh, look at this. Sandberg got a great run on Mills, and Mills went into defense mode and made it pay. Here is the number 44 of Fogg, and Casey Coleman is all over the back of him. Coleman has gone by Keating, and this is huge in terms of that Masters class point scenario, as we're watching Sandberg taking a run at Mills, but right behind them is that battle for that Masters class second on the track, and a potential tie in the points going into the final round. There they are, down at the bottom of the S's, watching them up into turn 5. There's Fogg, there's Coleman. Yeah,
pretty much nose to tail, just 2 or 3 car lengths between the two of them. And Casey Coleman, he's been racing in this series since 2010, so a lot of experience in these cars. Phil Fogg Jr. Has basically switched across from the open wheel ranks. He's a Masters contender as well, but doesn't have anything like as much experience in these Porsches as does Casey Coleman in car number 15.
Ooh, there was, as the exit of 7, we've talked about it, how important it is to get the run, and Coleman just lit those rears up. That's not what he wanted to do. You can see right away the gap that instantly creates to him up to Phil Fogg. Phil getting out of that corner much better.
He did. He got a good run out of that corner, so he's going to have, I think, they're still maintain that advantage down the hill into the chicane, but Casey Coleman leaves his braking really, really late. He gets right up onto the tail once again of Phil Fogg Jr.
Well, Sandberg keeping the heat there, but it's behind them. Here's that battle. Coleman just mounting the pressure every opportunity he can, down through 12. Very, very fast corner. Boy, did he get a great run. He might be able to make the move. He ducks to the inside. Is he close enough to try and steam down the inside into one? He's looking at it. No, not able to do it. Fogg able to hang on. Coleman carrying every ounce of speed, and we get word next time by will be the white flag. So this is it. Coleman has this and one more lap to figure out a way by.
That was a great run through turn 12 by Casey Coleman. Here's the battle, though, for the lead. And it is not giving up at all, because Colin Thompson has stayed right glued to the tail of Madison Snow.
Yep, and that good battle for 4th and 5th with Mills and Sandberg, and then this one for that 6th spot. Coleman in chase mode to Fogg. And again, watching him, Madison not able to get away quite like he did. But Duerson at the same time not as close as he was previously to Colin Thompson. And Brett Sandberg right now full attack mode on Michael Mills out of turn 7.
Yeah, and look there, Brett Sandberg in that red and yellow car got a good run off turn 8, but it also did Michael Mills. So it's pretty much stalemate on the back straightaway here, coming down into the chicane. It's going to where it's all going to, everything is going to happen down there, I believe, but not this time around, because there's not quite close enough is Brett Sandberg to the rear of Michael Mills.
Coleman was coming, and oh, look at that. That is that's blocking right there. Phil Fogg moving over, reacting, continuing to react. And Coleman was there. The two touch. Fogg goes around, and Coleman now moves up into that 6th spot, 2nd in the Masters class. And Jeremy, white flag is out as Madison Snow starts the final lap.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, but Phil Fogg Jr. got what was coming there, because he was very much definitely reacting to the move made by Casey Coleman. That is against the regulations. You're not allowed to react to somebody else making a move on you. You can make the move early on in defense, that's no problem, but when you move in reaction to somebody else, that's a no-no. That's what Phil Fogg tried to do there, and he came off the worst. It was he that spun around, and it was Casey Coleman who got that pass made up into 6th place. Now it's Casey Coleman in car number 15. He's not going to catch the top 5 ahead of him, but it's certainly been a great recovery drive by Casey Coleman.
Man, hasn't it? Taking advantage of opportunity, and when you have a race like this, he had his off, but then there were others that had issues in this rain, in these conditions, and he was able to really effect a great drive back up. And yeah, you're right, I think Phil Fogg heard the honk of the old chrome horn.
Yes, he did. But he had it coming to him there, I'm afraid, Phil. He's dropped back down there. I'm not even sure whether he managed to get going.
Oh, this is a biggie. Is that
it's David Baker again, isn't it?
That's Baker, I think, once again.
John Baker,
yeah, it's John, and you can see there's a tire that's come off the car, so that looks like it was a pretty stout hit. But the checkers are out. This is going to be Sandberg's last opportunity. Snow has enough of a margin. If he just does not make any errors here, he should be able to bring it home for a 7th win on the season in 15 races. That's a pretty remarkable stat in and of itself. Down the hill this young man goes in that Universal Industrial Sales Wright Motorsports Porsche, and does just that. Win number 7, close behind Colin Thompson. A great day for the Thompson Racing team, and Craig Duerson ends up with a win in the Masters class, 3rd overall. And the field coming to the green for the final round of the IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama here at Road Atlanta. Beautiful field of Porsches, all on Yokohama tires. Down through the last corner, the green flies, and Madison Snow from his 12th pole position jumps into an early lead. Looks like everybody, ooh, big moment at the back, but a save. And the field down into turn 1. Sloan Uri looks like he's going to tuck right into 2nd spot, but Madison Snow leads away.
And a problem for Colin Thompson.
Yes.
He's a problem with the left front of that car. Maybe, I don't know, the tire's gone down. But
I think it's a coolant issue.
Something was dragging on the ground. It looked like going up the hill. Yeah, you're right. Maybe it is the coolant leaking out of that car. Something was dragging on the front. What a shame for Colin Thompson. He's done a fabulous job yesterday. Finished in 2nd place and gave Madison Snow all he could handle in the closing stages. Started again today here on the inside of the 2nd row. Looked to have made a good jump, but then it's all gone wrong. Maybe a stone through the radiator or something unfortunate like that for Colin Thompson.
Unfortunate. And the car that's 3rd in your screen right now, the number 25, Angel Benitez Jr., a major player in the championship for much of the season, 5 wins at an NGT Motorsport entry, really had an Angel Benitez day yesterday, and boy, is he looking to make it right. And look at this run he has put together already, joining the other 2 up front, gapping the number 27 of Duerson and putting a lot of pressure on Sloan Uri.
Yeah,
there he comes. Does he get it done? Not quite, Jeremy.
Not quite. No, it's Madison Snow who leads through the chicane this time around, followed by Sloan Uri, and in third place is Angel Benitez Jr. And he is right on the heels here. I don't know what happened to him yesterday. I think he just wasn't comfortable in the wet conditions and slipped back. He finished way down in 10th place, which is not where you expect Benitez to finish. But he's come back strong today and is now a man on a mission for that NGT Motorsports team. And in 4th place, his teammate, Craig Jewison, who's exactly where he needs to be to clinch that Masters Championship. Plus, he has about half a dozen car lengths over Casey Kuhlman.
Yeah, and you look at, I think, one of the great finishes in the history of the IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge by Yokohama at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park earlier in this season. That last turn counterpunch move, and that finish was just amazing. There's Colin Thompson, a young man. Great future, done for today, but a great future as he is out of the car. There are your top 3, Madison Snow, Sloan Uri, and Angel Benitez. And boy, did he get a good run, Benitez, out of turn 7. And we've talked about it so many times. Turn 7 may not be the most spectacular turn here, but it's the most important one.
It is, leading on to this main sort of looping back straight away here, goes uphill a little bit, downhill a little bit, uphill again, and downhill towards the chicane. And it's important to get a good run out of that final corner so you get the draft on the straightaway. Benitez kind of thinks about looking to the inside of Sloan Uri, not quite close enough, but it's Madison Snow who is edging away just a little bit at the front of the field.
Well, that often happens, doesn't it? When you're sitting in position, you're chasing somebody, then somebody comes up, starts occupying your attention. You might go just a little bit defensive, slows down your exit out of the corners. Now Benitez is going to try to get underneath Uri down into 1, and Uri's shutting the door, and Benitez tucking right back in again. But that's exactly what we're talking about, is if Uri now is a little bit more concerned with keeping Benitez behind him, he might be losing that little bit of momentum coming out of the corners, and that's allowed Madison to just ease away a little bit.
And so these 2 guys battling here for 2nd and 3rd in a race have closed up a little bit this time on Madison Snow. They are still battling for 2nd place in the championship.
Yeah.
Sloan Uri's retirement yesterday has really opened the door not only to Angel Benitez Jr. but also to Michael Mills and Brett Sandberg, who are currently running. Mills is 6th and Sandberg is 8th. But all of those guys are covered within just 7 points for 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th places in the championship.
Fastest guy on the track last lap, and he looks to be faster than anybody here. It's Craig Jewison, our Masters tied for the points driver at this point, and Jewison just is absolutely flying right now, leading the Masters category, but running 4th overall. And he was quickest on that last lap by 2/10, and he has reeled in Angel Benitez right now on this lap. I think this lap's going to be a sparkling time for Jewison.
Yeah, he's absolutely driving superbly. He's just taken to these cars so well. He's another product. We were talking to Chip Robinson a little while ago that he is another product of the Skip Barber Racing School, Craig Jewison. He's a professional. He's a dentist by profession, an orthodontist, but he has a passion for racing. Spent many, many years with the Skip Barber Racing School, primarily in their open-wheel cars. And he was always known as a rainmeister in Skip Barber, and he showed that yesterday. Showed it also at Road America earlier in the season, where he won the race overall. But he's coming up for his 50th birthday not too long ago from now, but boy, he doesn't show it. He is driving absolutely superbly in that car number 27.
That last lap, he was 2/10 quicker than anybody on the track, as he is now essentially caught Benitez. There's Madison Snow leading Uri as Angel Benitez has backed off just well, not a lot. I thought for a minute he was going to get there because it has allowed Uri to close right back up on the back of Madison Snow's wing. But then Benitez gets a wonderful run again into and out of turn 7. He really is hooking up well there, and that allows him to run right up on the back of Uri, and the 3 of them will once again gap Jewison just a little bit.
Yeah, slight mistake there on that lap by Craig Jewison, dropped back a little bit, but this is just it was exactly 1 year ago that he drove a Porsche really in anger for the first time. Didn't have a good weekend either here. He didn't start one of the races, DNF'd in the other one. There is Brett Sandberg driving down the inside of Patrick Otto Madsen. That is a battle for 7th and 8th places, but Madsen gets it back again on the exit.
Yeah, Madsen just stayed put on the outside, gave him the inside at 10B, and he comes back through. And Sandberg currently sits in the 8th spot, Madsen in 7th. And Sandberg, once again, in qualifying for the 15th round of the championship, he actually, as he had caused a red flag in that qualifying session, his best time was thrown out, so he was back in the order just a little bit. And he is somebody who, as you pointed out, definitely has a shot here, as he is only 1 point at this point outside of that battle, or 7 points actually outside of that battle for second. So those 3, as you were alluding to, very, very close. And Sandberg put on a great drive yesterday, coming from a little bit deeper in the field even in terms of that qualifying spot and up into a serious play here. Oh, Benitez right there actually almost showed the nose going into turn 7. And when you actually shallow that entry up into 7, usually it kills you on the exit, but it looks like he got out of there okay.
He did indeed. This is a great battle going on here for second place, and it's still the team's championship is still up for grabs here. Effort Racing, for which Sloan Uri drives, and Michael Mills, so the 2nd and 6th place cars, they led the team championship coming into this weekend, but the mistake yesterday, or the spin yesterday by Sloan Uri, opened the door for a Snow Racing / Wright Motorsports. It's run by the Snow family in conjunction with Wright Motorsports. That car number 62 of Madison Snow, our race leader, they leapfrogged ahead by a 3-point margin coming into this final round. So Madison Snow now is doing exactly what he needs to clinch that team championship also for Wright Motorsports and Snow Motorsports, Snow Racing.
Yeah, and that's a very prestigious championship as well. Got a little bit of battling a little bit farther back in the order right now. Some good runs there. By the way, I want to let you know that the gold category, once again being led by Ben Keating, he very impressively sits in 10th overall. Ben Keating does. So very, very solid job for him.
Yeah, the gold category class, the platinum class, the overall class of cars built since 2010. The gold class cars are still the 997 model Porsche, but previously between 2006 and 2009 those cars were built.
So watching a little bit of the battle for a minute there with David Ducote sitting in the 13th spot overall. Angel Benitez Sr. and Michael Levitas right behind him. Levitas had clinched the gold championship already, so this weekend he stepped up and running in the platinum car. And basically you said his gold car is the one that Keating's running?
Yeah, that's right. Ben Keating and Michael Levitas kind of switched cars for this weekend, because Ben has been running in the platinum class car in several of the races just to get himself more experience in preparation for the American Le Mans Series races, running in the GTC category. And there's a whole bunch of drivers in this race right now who will be driving GTC cars in tomorrow's Petit Le Mans. Madison Snow, our race leader, he will be driving for Flying Lizard team. Andres Benitez is also driving in the main race tomorrow for NGT Motorsports. Brett Sandberg is driving in second of the Flying Lizard cars. Ben Keating will be driving for TRG. So there's a whole bunch of guys here just trying to get a bit more track time, getting ready for the main race tomorrow.
And David Ducote has worked his way around Angel Benitez Sr. That puts him up into 12th. Nice piece of driving by Ducote in making that move. Got it done before they even got to the start-finish line. And so he has moved up a spot, as I said. And then Mike Levitas in that number 35 sits 14th. Just a little bit now. It just looks like he's lost about 2-3 car lengths, Levitas has, as they are working down through the pack. And of course, Ben Keating, just a very, very impressive driver in the 15th round yesterday. Had a great qualifying run, but he was able to just actually parlay that into a 7th place overall finish, and really has been spectacular. It's great to see that performance out of him. Another guy who started racing a little bit later in his life, but has caught on incredibly quickly.
Yeah, and most of his racing was done in Vipers, wasn't it? Yeah. So a slightly different car to a Porsche, that's for sure, but Ben has adapted very well to these cars and really has done a fantastic job this weekend. This is easily the most competitive in the overall rankings that a Gold Cup class car has been all season long.
There is Brett Sandberg. He has remounted his challenge on Patrick Otto Madsen for that 7th spot. Actually got him a few laps down, go down into turn 10, but Otto Madsen said, no, we're not going to make it that easy for you, and stayed put. And was able to, Brett Sandberg again diving down to the inside. And let's see if Patrick, no, this time couldn't quite make that work. Sandberg looked like he just got a little bit deeper in and underneath, and there was nothing that Patrick Otto Madsen could do. So Sandberg now has moved up into the 7th spot in that True Speed Porsche. Ooh, little wiggle there, but that's okay. That's just carrying all the speed you possibly can.
That was a great move there by the 24-year-old Brett Sandberg there. He committed himself to the inside line, coming down the hill into turn 10A, and absolutely incisive pass. There was nothing that Madsen could do. He couldn't turn in because Sandberg's car was right there. So Sandberg takes over that position. Now we'll see whether he can pull away. The bad news is he's got about 6 seconds to make up before he can catch Michael Mills.
And you know what? If my eyes aren't deceiving me, I think Casey Coleman in that Cool Sport car is closing in on Craig Dewerson in that battle for 4th, but more importantly, that battle for that Masters Championship. These 3 are easing away, but behind them, boy, I'll tell you what, that is getting to be fairly fierce as Coleman really has upped the ante just a little bit in that Wright Motorsports Cool Sport machine.
Just seeing at the back of that picture there, the 3 leaders coming now down the hill towards the chicane. Snow leads from Uri, from Benitez, 1, 2, 3, number 62, number 20 and number 25, but only, what about 2 or 3 seconds behind those trio is that battle for the Masters class 4th and 5th with Craig Dewerson and Casey Coleman. They're only about a second apart, if maybe less than that, and they both turned almost identical lap times last time around.
Uri getting a run, trying to get down underneath Madison, Snow, and not quite able to get it done. Madison dissuaded him. He didn't chop him, but he certainly dissuaded him. And Uri finally decided the better of it, and that allowed Benitez to actually close up just a little bit. So nothing changing up at the front, although now you see Uri just losing a little bit of that momentum, and that was all. That's the thing. These are very powerful cars, these GT3 Cup Porsches, but they're identical. So relative to each other, you lose a little bit of momentum. It is going to be costly. Watch in the background as we're looking for that battle for the Masters Championship as well. It is so close, and it looks as though Koolman got up close, and then he lost just a little bit of ground, maybe a couple of car lengths back. Boy, Sloan Uri might be mounting a challenge. He got an incredible run out of 10A, 10B. And if he may have had to pop a little bit too early there. Yep, that's exactly what happened. Just had to get out of that draft a little bit, and as a result, boy, you can see Madison, the back end of that car, just drifting it a little bit. That's one of the things. This is a spec class. These Porsches are all identical, and they get great support from Porsche Motorsports North America. You know, that's one of the reasons you get such great entries in this program. Is Porsche Motorsport North America has a great support program, a great trailer that shows up, helps with setup, helps with the drivers and the like. But also, they are all running the Yokohama ENV R2 tire, which is to me a revolutionary new tire with an eye toward environmental friendliness. We'll talk about that in a minute. There is Dewerson leading the Masters Class 4th overall, but Coleman in the Wright Motorsports Cool Sport car right there has caught him, and catching them both is Mike Mills in the effort racing car. We talked about it. The first 2 in your shot right there. Whoever finishes in front wins the Masters Class. Oh, and we've got a big one here. That's the number 30, Angel Benitez Senior is off, and I think that may have been Wayne Ducote. It was okay. I wasn't sure on the number, but there's been some contact there, and that front end pretty wrinkled for Benitez. And we've got a pass for the lead here. This is Uri. He's down and underneath. He's gotten through finally on Madison Snow. He'd been looking at that and looking at that lap after lap, and he finally executed it, Jeremy. We have a new leader, Sloan Uri, at the front of the pack here. 1 win this year, maybe 2. That's what he'd like to have at the end of the season, at least at this stage. Oh boy, here's a look at the contact. A bump, another bump, and finally they just got locked together, and it caused Ducote to get stuck sideways, and that ended up shoving Benitez right off the track as well. As a result, we're yellow at Road Atlanta. We anticipate going green with just under 12 minutes remaining. Pace car is in. We're green. Uri getting a nice jump. He leads down onto the front straight. Snow tucks into second. The field knifing and snaking down the hill. Brett Sandberg moves out. He wants to try a run on Mills. He's got him. Sandberg is through. Nice job. Brett Sandberg in that True Speed car. We figured he was going to be somebody to watch here on this restart, and he has been exactly that.
And Michael Mills there made an uncharacteristic poor restart. He was running in 6th place, but lagged back from the top 5 coming down the hill, and that enabled Brett Sandberg to get a run on him through turn 12 and make the move into turn 1 on the next lap. We're 19 laps down, we're 11 minutes to go in this race, and look at this, the top 3 absolutely nose to tail.
That's how they've run for so much of this. It's going to be interesting to see that long caution cooling off these Yokohama tires, cooling off the brakes, etc., who that might favor. And once again, Duerson on the restart, able to stay right with these 4, and as they gap Casey Coleman just a little bit. And this is huge. Here comes Brett Sandberg. After getting around Mills, Brett is already in attack mode on Casey Coleman for a top 5.
Yes, indeed. And Casey Coleman, he came on really strong as that first half of this race developed, because he lost a bit of ground initially.
Snow trying it. Oh, so close, Jeremy. Sorry.
Yep. No, Madison Snow making a move to the inside, looking to the inside, but not really diving for that pass. He doesn't want to. You know, he's got the team championship in mind as well. He knows exactly what's to play for here, so he wanted to make sure he didn't make a mistake down there in turn 10. He's able to maintain that 2nd place, but that's certainly given Sloan Norrie just a little bit of breathing ground.
Here comes Sandberg trying to move down underneath Casey Coleman, not quite able to get it done. Coleman able to hang on, but that now is Sandberg is really filling the mirrors for Coleman, and he's driving in those mirrors a little bit, watching Sandberg and that group of 4, including Duerson up front, easing away.
Sandberg leaping over the curbs there in turns 2 and 3 and trying to close in on Coleman, but we've got 4 cars now, again nose to tail. Craig Duerson has closed right up on the leaders. We saw this at the beginning of the race, and then Craig Duerson slipped back a little bit into the clutches of Casey Coleman. We've still got just less than 10 minutes to go now, so it's battle on, game on here at the front of the field.
Oh, it is. And right here, Madison Snow, that last lap, got a nice run out of the key turn 7, and that allowed him to get into the draft, into the toe of Yuri. Let's see if he's close enough. I don't know that he's quite close enough this time, but Sandberg now might be able to try a move on Coleman. There's a long way to go, and if you just get a little bit of that toe and draw in and get that momentum going, here comes Snow, not quite close enough. Just tucks in, but here comes Sandberg deep on the brakes. No, Coleman again defending, keeping Sandberg behind him. That's going to, though, slow that exit a little bit out of turn 10B, up and under the bridge. And you can see again, lost just a little bit of ground to Duerson.
Super battle though.
Oh, isn't it?
Sunshine out now. It's quite bright now, so it's certainly warming up. The track temperature will be warming up as Sandberg again looks to the inside down in turn 1. Gets that car a little bit sideways under braking. He's going to lose a little bit of momentum on the exit. Casey Coleman able to hang on to 5th place.
Yeah, you start to pinch that entry into 1. That's such a fast corner, and you just exceed the adhesion limit a little bit when you start to squeeze in early, and that's exactly what can happen. Boy, Yuri. Oh, that's going to be a big off. Trying to pick that number up.
Wayland, I think.
I think you are right, yeah. Dan Whalen, the number 11 entry.
The veteran driver from Colorado, the oldest driver in the field. And he had a good run yesterday. Good sensible run in the wet conditions. Very treacherous it was yesterday, but looks like he's run way off the road there.
Yeah, Eurosport team. Again, the tire barriers, they're doing exactly what they were designed to do. You exit there at a good head of steam, and it absorbed an awful lot of that. So, meanwhile, here we go, watching how this is going to play out. Madison Snow has been able to gap here. That's a good sign to see Whalen getting out. But Madison Snow has been able to ease away from Benitez Jr. just a little bit, and that means, obviously, that's key in that team championship. Oh, there we go again. That time, Sandberg was going to try the outside, and Coleman was able to drive that beautifully, put that car right where he needed to, entering and exiting 10A, and that kept Sandberg behind him. But boy, Sandberg is just heaping on the pressure. He got a great run down through 11 this time and through 12, looking to the inside, and again, not quite enough, Jeremy.
No, it's awfully difficult to make a move in turn 1 there. You've got to have a lot more momentum. You've got to be absolutely alongside as you turn into the corner, and certainly Brett Sandberg wasn't close enough to do that. He was right up on the rear bumper of Casey Coleman, and that's not enough to make a dive bomb pass there in turn 1. If you tried that, it's going to end in tears. So heads up driving there by both of these guys, both giving each other room. Coleman, he's still got his eyes on Craig Duerson ahead of him, but it's slipping away, isn't it? Craig Duerson is managing to edge out just a little bit of a lead over Casey Coleman. Only a tenth or so of a second per lap, but it's enough. Coleman really isn't in a position at the moment to challenge Craig Duerson, and just 6 minutes remaining in the race.
Exactly. We're closing in on the end of the season. And everything's to play for here. Sloan Uri has been superb ever since that restart, ever since that pass for the lead. He's been very strong. Madison Snow just hasn't had an answer for him. He's got it close a couple of times, but more importantly for Madison at this stage, already champion, is just to stay right behind Uri, and that means that Madison's team, the Snow Racing Wright Motorsports team, will end up with the team's championship, and it is important. It's prestigious. These, you know, that's the reward in many ways. Certainly, the crews appreciate the driver championship, but the team championship, that's the one where you say, "Look, this team earned this title." That's key.
It is, and they're all multi-car operations here running at the front of the field here. One of the only single-car teams was Thompson Racing, who finished second yesterday. They did a fine job, but NGT, Effort Racing, Wright Motorsports, they all run multiple cars, and that just helps, you know, helps the each of the drivers in the team because they can learn from the data of their teammates.
You know, and it looks like now Duerson is dropping off his last lap. A good 0.6 of a second off of the laps of those leaders, and it looks like once again Kuhlman might actually be closing them up. Just indeed, Kuhlman running 1.1 seconds faster on that last lap than Duerson did, and Sandberg obviously is part and parcel of that reason. He is pushing Kuhlman for everything he's worth, and Kuhlman is now starting to catch Duerson. This is getting interesting, but the question is, Jeremy, time. 5 minutes remaining.
That's exactly right, and this is exactly what we saw in the first half of the race, because Duerson was able to pull out an advantage over Kuhlman, and then as the tires heated up, the run went on, Kuhlman was able to inch again closer and closer to Craig Duerson. He was kind of in a position to challenge before we had that full course caution in the middle of the race, but now the time is slipping away. Pretty good night time for another at least 3 laps here. So Craig Duerson's going to be biting his nails a little bit there in 4th place.
Oh, Uri turning a 26 flat, but so did Snow, so did Benitez. They're all at 26 zeros, a 0.36, a 0.92, a 0.71. Duerson a 26.5, Coleman a 26.2. He continues to slowly close in on this. Boy, this is, we're getting right down to it here. And that lap by Uri, it's only a few hundredths faster, but it's enough. You can see he's opened that margin up on Madison Snow a little bit, but Benitez Jr. Has the bit once again.
He does, but Sloan Uri now, he's got his head down. He was mad at himself for making that mistake yesterday. Actually, he also, I spoke to him this morning, he did wonder whether he maybe got a tap from behind. He wasn't sure about that. He thought maybe as they came up for a restart in wet conditions coming down through turn 12, maybe got a bit of help from behind. I don't think that was the case, but you know, he was determined to put that behind him and come back with a strong performance this morning. That's exactly what he is doing.
Boy, he has indeed. Benitez Jr. looked like he got a good run out of turn 7, building up that head of steam as they're heading down into 10. He looks to the inside, not quite close enough, but if he can replicate that on this next lap as we're at 3.5 minutes to go and get a similar run, just be a little bit closer, you might be able to get past. And again, that would swing the team's championship into the favor of Effort Racing. That's Sloan Uri's team in that blue machine. There's Duerson in the background, and he's been able to get a couple of car lengths back over Casey Coleman, running a lap just a couple of hundredths faster than Coleman that time. And we are at about 2 minutes 45 seconds to go. Boy, look at Benitez really working on Snow right now. And Uri has made good his escape. Yeah,
it's good for Benitez, really needed this. He started off the season absolutely magnificently. He had 2 wins at Sebring to begin the campaign. Won another couple of races during the season. Then had a bit of a bad streak for several races that put him out of championship contention, but did bounce back in the 2nd race at VIR last time out a couple of weeks ago, where he came away, sorry, at Circuit of the Americas a few weeks ago, where he won the 2nd race there. And so this battle for 2nd place in the championship still going on, but Sloan Uri now is doing exactly what he needs to cement that 2nd position by leading this motor race.
Boy, and that time Madison got enough of a run off of 7 that he was able to actually open the gap a little bit on Benitez Jr. down the long backstretch here. Now they're hard on the brakes down into turn 10. There's Madison Snow, UIS, Universal Industrial Sales, and that Snow Racing Wright Motorsports machine, NGT Momo Venezuela, on that NGT Motorsports team for Angel Benitez Jr. But up front, it is Sloan Uri, and that blue Effort Racing car has really put together a superb run today as we are within a, well, almost a minute and a half So this lap, maybe one more.
Yeah, that was this has been a really fine performance by Sloan Uri,
yes,
because he's been so consistent. These last 3 laps within, well, about a half a tenth of a second. Each of those 3 laps within a half a tenth of a second. And as you can see now, he's extended a pretty handy margin over Madison Snow and Angel Benitez, battling for 2nd and 3rd places.
Confirmation from race control, white flag, next time by. And here's that long, long run out of turn 5, undulates, dips down, then climbs up into the banking of turn 6. Carry a lot of speed. You can go in there deeper than you think at first. And then it flattens out up into turn 7. You got to get that braking done. Better to be slow into 7 so you can be fast out onto this long back straight. You try and charge into turn 7, believe me, you'll pay the price down at turn 10. Boy, Snow got out of there beautifully that time. Boy, did he need that.
Yeah, he's extended a little bit of a margin now with just over a lap to go over Benitez in 3rd place. But it's Sloan Uri who's putting on a clinic now. This last since this restart, he paced himself at the beginning and now is edging away as we're getting towards the closing stages of this race.
Sloan Uri in the effort racing machine. The white flag flies. 1 lap to go. There's Snow. In 2nd, Benitez. There's Dewerson. There's Coleman. That's your Masters category battle as we start this final lap. Benitez, boy, he got a good run through turn 1 and was able to carry a good head of steam. Not enough to do anything up into 3. That's a tough place to make it work anyway. But Benitez is going to be throwing everything but the kitchen sink at it here, I think, in his last lap. And boy, Uri is just, as you said, Jeremy, he's just precision personified here in this, ever since that restart, really. Yeah, and the last lap around was about the same sort of lap time as well. Actually, a tad quicker, almost a tenth of a second quicker. So Sloan Uri, he's concentrating on what he's doing ahead of him. He's not looking in his mirrors. He's just putting his head down and hitting his marks and turning some excellent laps at the front of the field. Just listening there to the great mic sounds off of our camera over there, and Madison Snow not spinning those wheels up at all. Got a great launch out of 7. That's exactly, as we've talked about, we hate to keep beating on it, but it is so key. If you make a mistake coming out of 7, spin the wheels up, get the car sideways, bound over the curbs, it's going to hurt you. And Madison did exactly what he needed to do, as has Sloan Uri. Out of 10B, up and under the bridge at 11. On to the front straight. Sloan Uri, a win this season. He's going to add another one. And he comes through. Sloan Uri wins it. Madison Snow will be 2nd. And Benitez Jr. 3rd. Craig Dewerson 4th. Effort Racing gave it a heck of a go with the win, but it'll be Snow Wright Racing that win the team championship, and Craig Dewerson will hang on and earn that Masters category championship as well, Jeremy.
Sloan Uri gets his 2nd win of the season. Craig Dewerson beats Casey Coolman in Masters Platinum, securing the championship for him. And Snow Racing wins the team championship by holding off Angel Benitez Jr. for 2nd place, barely getting enough points to beat Effort Racing. Ben Keating takes the win in the gold class, while his teammate racing Platinum for the weekend, Michael Levitas, finishes P10. So here are the final points tallies after rounds 15 and 16, and that's just about it for the Porsche IMSA GT3 Cup Challenge presented by Yokohama. The 2013 season has been edge of the seat excitement and entertainment all the way through. I hope that you think that too, and you'll want to join us again in 2014, when we have a series that looks very similar, with 16 rounds over 8 race weekends, but joined with a new parent series, the brand new Tudor United Sports Car Championship, still the pinnacle of American sports car racing, still the perfect proving ground for this IMSA developmental series, putting all of our drivers in front of the best teams in the country. I'm John Hindorf. On behalf of the whole production team, thanks for being with us. We'll see you again next year.